Next topic is conflict management. Definition of conflict. Conflict may be defined as the disagreement between two or more individuals over an issue of mutual interest. Sources of conflict. There are various sources for conflict. Organizational change, personality clashes, differences in value sets, threats to status, perceptual differences. Classification of conflicts. Intrapersonal conflict, interpersonal conflict, and intergroup conflict. Now, organizational conflict. Institutionalized conflict are done here. It arises due to the division of work. This is divided into 5 categories. Individual versus individual conflict. That is one individual with another individual. Individual versus organizational conflict. Hierarchical conflict. Functional conflict, line versus staff conflict. Then there will be emergent conflict also will happen. It arises due to social and personal reasons. This is also classified under 4 categories. Individual versus informal group conflict. Formal informal conflict, formal group versus informal group will happen, and status conflict and political conflict. These are all the various sources of conflict and classification of conflict. Let us see one by one. Sources of conflict which arises out of organizational change. When the organization there is any change is happening, there might be emergence of opinion differences among people. Personality clashes. One person with another person. Different persons will have different personalities. Their attitude might differ. Their opinion might differ. Their way of approaching things might differ. That will create a difference of opinion or disagreement between these two people. Difference in value sets. Different individual will have their own individual values and beliefs and principles. When there is a contradiction between these two, there might arise a conflict. Threat to status. Individuals will have certain threat to their status because of some other person's performance or any other promotion or status. So there might arise a particular conflict. Next is perceptual difference. One person will perceive a particular situation or object or about a person in a particular way, and the another person might perceive in a different way. For example, if two persons are interacting each other, the person's words might be wrongly perceived by other person. So there might arise a difference of opinion. These are all the explanation for the sources of conflict. Now, under classification of conflict, intrapersonal, interpersonal, and intergroup. Intrapersonal means within an individual itself, conflict might arise. One person might think that should I go there to a particular place or not. Then initially he will think that I should go there. After that he might think and he will decide that he should not go. So there is a conflict arises between one individual himself. This is called as intrapersonal conflict. Interpersonal conflict. This happens between two individuals. When two people have difference of opinion, conflict arises. This is called as interpersonal conflict. Intergroup conflict. Between two group, conflict might arise. We can also classify this intergroup into intragroup also. Because this intragroup is also considered as interpersonal conflict. That is, people among the group will have certain conflict. Now, organizational conflict, as we already saw, institutionalized conflict arises due to division of work. The categorization and the explanation is also coming under this particular organizational conflict.